Hi, this is Dr. Les, and welcome back to I Bought a Farm. Now what? I realize it's been a while since I've put a video up. As I was cranking the videos out, I noticed that not a lot of people were looking at the everyday or every week views of the heifers, just coming out and looking at them and so forth. And so I decided to decrease the frequency by which I came out. Also, just to be totally blunt about it, I kind of ran out of help. And so it was me and the farm owner trying to get all the work done and so forth. Didn't have anybody to shoot the video. So we have gone a few months without a video on I Bought a Farm, so I got to catch up. First thing we did around the middle of December, we synchronized the heifers and AI. We used a modified 5-day GnRH seeder protocol where we put a seeder in for 5 days. We did not give them the shot up front. At the 5th day, so we put it in on a Monday, pulled it out on a Saturday, we gave them Lutalyse, put a patch on them, bred them at 66 hours, time bred them at 66 hours after we pulled the seeder and gave Lut. We've used this system, and this is not a normal system, but we've used it here in Kentucky for several years with great success, honestly. And when it came time to get these heifers AI'd, we had a pretty good storm front move in. It was about December 15th, and the temperatures dropped pretty good, and we had a little bit of precipitation. And so the heifers really weren't showing strong signs of heat. I bred females like that before, and most of the time you come up with about the same amount of success. But this time, I could tell that we were probably going to be on the short end of the stick when it came to our AI. The bull that we used was a bull from Select Sires called Surefire. The fertility on that sire is phenomenal. So I knew he was going to get them pregnant at as high a rate as possible. It's just we didn't see that much heat expression in those females. But anyway, I synchronized them, AI'd them. We did that over at the neighbor's farm. Hauled them back and turned a Cavanese bull out with them about 7 to 10 days later. Because I was suspicious that the AI didn't go as well as I thought, I went back and started going back every day for the heat checks just to see what the return rates were going to be. And I noticed several heifers were coming in heat. The bull that we used was a mature bull. He was 3 years old. He'd passed the BSE. Calving E's of 8. And we had several heifers in heat 2 or 3 days in a row. And I didn't see him service the heifers. So I talked to the farm owner and advised him to switch bulls. Because, every now and then a mature sire will service cattle, and you really don't see it, and it'll trick you. But in this case, honestly, I had a feeling that he just wasn't getting the job done. The owner thought about it for a little while and decided to go ahead and stick with that bull for a variety of reasons. And we came back and preg checked him, and it ended up hurting us. We ended up with only 19 of the 28 pregnant, and several of them kind of strung out there toward the end. We had about 35% AI, which was much lower than what we normally get. Typically, we're in that 55 to 60 range. And so overall, our success and our breeding was a little lower than we anticipated for a variety of reasons. So after that, we vaccinated, dewormed, and so forth when we preg checked and pulled the bull. I found a buyer for the owner of 4 of the open heifers, and the rest of the open heifers are still here in the field, and we're getting ready to find a way to market them private treaty. So how are we going to market the bred heifers? What I did was I contacted the manager of a bred heifer sale. It's been around Kentucky for a long time. and we entered them in the Blue Ribbon sale, and we'll have some information on that here in just a second. Very excited about them. These heifers will sell on June the 5th. I expect that they'll do very well. We're going to run through the heifers here in a second so that you can get a look at them. But I'm very happy with the heifers and how they turned out. Not having success breeding is pretty common, just to be honest about it. We saw what the issues were. We just made a decision to not go ahead and swap bulls out, and it hurt pregnancy rates. But also, honestly, we should have done a little better job with the AI. We moved them from the farm that they'd been eating at up the road, and so we changed the environments. We kept them up there for 10 days, or for the entire time of the AI. So they were in a different place, managed slightly differently, getting the same feed and so forth, but it's just different, okay? And we left them up there kind of in dry lot until we finished the AI. Then we hauled them back, and I don't know if that is something that would explain the low estrus response rates, but certainly the way that we did it didn't maximize AI rates. Two things I know weren't a problem. Number one, the bull that we use, Surefire, we've used him a ton in a bunch of farm program cattle, and our fertility on him is phenomenal. We're always in the high 60s, low to mid 70s. And then I bred him. I bred hundreds of thousands of cows, so it wasn't technician. So anyway, even whenever you think everything's perfect, sometimes life just doesn't work out the way it's supposed to. And we had a few more open heifers. I think I'm going to have a private treaty buyer for these heifers for the owner, so that he can capture a couple $100 out of the opens, and then we're going to hope that the sale goes really well on June the 5th. That's it for today. Thanks for joining us on another episode of I Bought a Farm. Now what?